Hello everyone! Today we are going to learn about there was, there were, there wasn't, and there weren't in English Year 5, Unit 6, Sport. Let's start! These are the lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, pupils should be able to use there was, there wasn't, and there were, there weren't correctly. And pupils should be able to write affirmative and negative sentences using there was, there were, there wasn't, and there weren't. First of all, let's look at there was and there were. How to use and when to use them. In the past tense, we use there was for singular object and there were for plural objects. There was is used when you refer to one thing or person, singular nouns, while there were is used when you refer to more than one thing or person, plural nouns. Let's look at the example here. Plural form, we used there were. For example, there were 3 strangers outside the office. 3 strangers, that means it's more than one and it is in plural form. So that is why we use there were. For singular, we use there was. There was a stranger outside the house. A stranger means only one, so it is in singular form. That's why we use there was. Let's look at the affirmative forms there was and there were. This is the sentence structure. It starts with there and verb to be and complement. For example, there was a book. Let's look at a book. A book means one book, so that is why we use there was. Next, there were 2 people. Look at 2 people. 2 people, more than one. It's in plural form. So that's why we use there were. Let's look at the negative forms there wasn't and there weren't. This is the sentence structure. Starts with there, followed by verb to be and complement. For example, there wasn't a book. Look at the word a book. One book, singular. So that is why we use wasn't. There wasn't a book. Next, there weren't 2 people. Look at the word 2 people. 2 people, plural. So that's why we use there weren't. What is the meaning of wasn't and weren't? Actually, wasn't is the short form of was not, and weren't is the short form of were not. That means something that's not available. Okay, now let's look at the rules for affirmative. There was a pen on the table. There was an orange on the table. A and an means one. Do you still remember how or when to use an? Well, an is used with nouns that has A, E, I, O, U sounds or vowel sounds. There was some water in the cup. Water is uncountable. So we cannot add water, we cannot add s to the word water, because water is uncountable. So how do we say to indicate that there's still a little amount of water? So we just use the word some. Okay, there was some water in the cup. Okay, next, there was a lot of money in my wallet. Money is also uncountable noun, so we cannot put S to the word money. Although we have a lot of money, so we just use a lot of. There was a lot of money in my wallet. Okay, next, let's look at there were. There were some books in the bag. Books is countable. So when you want to show that there are more than one book, okay, more than one books, you have to put S. So when you are not sure the amount of book or the number of book you have, you can just use the word some. There were some books in the bag. So people will know that there's more than one books in the bag. Okay? Alright, next, there were 2 cats on the floor. This time, let's look at the word cats. Cats, countable noun. 2 cats. So because it's countable and you know specifically the number of cats, so you can use number to indicate. There were 2 cats on the floor. There were a lot of kids in the garden. Kids, countable. So, because there are more than one kid, so you can just use a lot of. There were a lot of. Okay, I hope you understand about this. And let's move to the next part. Now, we look at the rules for negative. There wasn't and there weren't. Let's look at the first one, there wasn't. There wasn't a pen on the table. There wasn't an apple on the table. There wasn't any water in the cup. There wasn't a lot of money in my wallet. There weren't any books in the bag. There weren't many cats on the floor. There weren't a lot of kids in the garden. Okay, let's move to the next part. Aha! Let's play a game. Mr. Wilson is back in his house. He's trying to remember the things before the robbery. Can you help him? Look at the picture carefully for 30 seconds. Are the statements true or false? Are you ready, kids? Alright, let's play the game. Alright, now you can jot down your answer true or false in a piece of paper, and later we are going to discuss the answers together. The first statement, there was a guitar near the window. True or false? Number 2, there was a toy car on the carpet. True or false? Number 3, there was a laptop on the table. True or false? Number 4, there wasn't a vase on the table. True or false? Number 5, there weren't any sofas in the living room. True or false? Are you ready to check the answers? Alright, now let's check together. Okay, now let's check the answers while looking at the picture here. The first question, do you still remember? There was a guitar near the window. The answer is true. Number 2, there was a toy car on the carpet. The answer is true. Number 3, do you remember the question or the statement? There was a laptop on the table. Can you find any laptop? No. So the answer is false. That is not a laptop. That's a television. Number 4. Do you still remember the question? There wasn't a vase on the table. There wasn't a vase on the table. Can you see any vase? Yes, there it is. So the answer is false. The statement said there wasn't a vase on the table, but there is a vase. So the answer is false for the statement. Okay, the last one, statement number 5. There weren't any sofas in the living room. There weren't any sofas in the living room. Can you see sofas here? Yes. So the answer for statement number 5 is false. Alright, I repeat the answer. Number 1, true. Number 2, true. Number 3, false. Number 4, false. And number 5, false. Alright, now let's go to the next part. Let's practice. Complete the text with the affirmative or negative forms of there was and there were. Here's the tips. Before you decide to write there was or there were or there wasn't or there weren't, you have to identify the noun, whether the noun is in singular or plural form. You can jot down the answers in a piece of paper or your exercise book, and this will help you to do the exercise in your textbook. You can pause this video to read and write. Okay, let's check the answer. Alright, now before we check the answers, please pay attention on the word or the letters in blue color. The blue colored words or letters are the clues or keywords to guide you whether you want to use there was, there were, there wasn't, or there weren't. Okay, now let's read together while checking the answer. 2,500 years ago, there was a war between Greece and Persia, and there were a lot of battles. There was a big battle in a place called Marathon, which the Greeks won. This was important news, but there wasn't any internet and there weren't any telephone. So, a man called Philippus ran to Athens with the news of the battle. He ran about 41 kilometers. There weren't any good roads, so it was a difficult journey. When he arrived in Athens, he died. I hope you got all your answers correct. Okay, next. This is the exercise that you have to do independently. Let's read the instruction. You were at an important football match at a stadium last week. Write affirmative and negative sentences using there was, there wasn't, there were, and there weren't. For example, a lot of spectators at the match. Look at the symbol here. This symbol indicates for you to write positive or affirmative sentences. This correct symbol indicates you to write positive or affirmative sentences. So, what you have to do next before you decide to use there was or there were, you have to look at the noun. A lot of spectators. Look at the word spectators. Spectators here is in plural form. Plural is more than one. And you have to write in affirmative form. So, you have to use there were. So the sentence will be, there were a lot of spectators at the match. Okay, let's try number 2. A train station near the stadium. Look at the symbol here. This is a cross symbol. This means you have to write this sentence in negative form. So, when you want to write in negative form, you have to choose whether you want to use there wasn't or there weren't. Before that, look at the noun. A train station. A means one train station. One train station. So, that is in singular. So, which one are you going to use? There wasn't or there weren't? Yes, for singular, we use there wasn't. There wasn't a train station near the stadium. Okay, I'm sure that you can do the rest of the exercise. And remember, first you look at the symbol. If you have correct symbol, you have to write in affirmative. If you got the cross symbol, you need to write in negative. After that, you need to identify the noun in the sentence, whether it's singular or plural. Then you can write it correctly. Don't forget, start with capital letter when you want to begin a sentence and put a full stop at the end of it. Okay, so that is the end of our lesson. Thank you very much, and don't forget to click like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.